Time now on Motormouth for something French, fun and flirty. That'll be the car that's been turning heads and attracting motorists of all ages and both genders for over a quarter of a century. The one and only Renault Clio. And like a fine Bordeaux wine, the Clio just gets better with age, as we can see with the all-new Dynamique.
Hello, cheeky! It's the Renault Clio! The ultimate Supermini! Ever since 1990, these things have been flirting on our British roads, and we've fallen head over heels in love with them. We can't help it! They're just so pretty, fun, adventurous, quirky. Great little cars. Do you remember the Papa Nicole adverts of the early 90s? Some people might do. And then of course there's Thierry Henry, helping to repopularise the term from the 1950s, the va-va-voom effect. And then there's Annalise Esme and Jeremy Sheffield, the France versus Britain advert. That was my favourite actually. But have you noticed there hasn't been an advert for a Renault Clio for a while? There hasn't, has there? Want to know why? Renault figured out quite recently that the Clio was so popular, it didn't need one. Even when they brought out the Gen 4. Because the Clio was doing fine without it. But then this particular Clio, the one I'm out in, is quite a clever car, if I'm honest. This one isn't even a litre. It's 0.9. So the engine is about the same size as a pine nut. But the efficiency you get for it is, quite frankly, astonishing. 90 brake horsepower. That is 10 brake horsepower for every 1/10 of a litre. That is not bad going, actually. It also gives you 113 miles an hour. Now that is fast for an engine that is less than a litre. But that's not all. The French are so obsessed with fuel economy and making sure that their Parisian streets are clean that they make sure that you're not burning too much fuel. 62.8 miles to the gallon combined. That's just genius. Okay, so you won't go from 0 to 60 very quickly. It takes over 11 seconds. But in the towns, who cares? That's what this thing has been designed for. Getting to the shops. And possibly wowing a few people along the way. See, Renault know that this car is flirtatious. They know that it's quite stylish. So they've decided with the Dynamique to go that little bit extra crazy. You get all of that efficiency and all of that ticking of the box of cleanliness. But you also get sophistication with the Dynamique as well. Get this, this is a 0.9 litre engined car. And yet, you also get with this cruise control. Yes, I did say cruise control. Keyless go, alloy wheels, that very sexy little rear spoiler, a sat-nav system, Bluetooth, trip computer, this touchscreen monitor, which is very impressive by the way, and keyless entry. All, ladies and gentlemen, from a car that has an engine of less than a litre. That's balmy. We're not supposed to get stuff like that in a 1 litre engine car. Never mind a less than 1 litre engine car. Never mind Ferrero Rocher. It's Renault who are spoiling us. And the thing is as well, all of that frugal nature in the fuel tank should make this car boring. It should make it a little bit sluggish and a bit 0 to 60 takes over 11 seconds, so this should be bland and dull and boring. And it just isn't. It's nippy. And interestingly, the Clio has evolved on the racetrack as well. This is the current gen of Clio that we're using on the TOCA package alongside the British Touring Car Championship. And drivers who win in this have gone on to be British touring car racers. And I can see why, actually. Every corner, every gear change, every movement, is pure simplicity. I'm not having to push, I'm not having to stress, I'm not having to overthink. This could well be the best first-timers car on the planet. And have you heard the noise of the engine? It's so quiet. It's so quiet. The thing is, I quite like the added flair of driving. It's difficult to drive on British roads for a long time because you get bored, you get tired, you get drowsy. You want to be in a position where you are not falling asleep, you are not getting tired. I genuinely am enjoying driving this car more than I have ever driven a car with this little power. Because I haven't really noticed the deficiency in power. I've got myself a little USB and an aux point there so I can plug in my iPhone or I can plug in my MP3 player. Very youth conscious, this. Potentially a teenager's first car. Mums and dads should be happy as well. This is a particularly safe car as well. Doesn't go very fast, but they can feel stylish. You buy this for their birthday, you'll have the peace of mind knowing that they'll be safe and not being boy racers. But they'll still feel like one. Everybody wins. That's the best thing I can say about this car. With the Clio Dynamique, everybody wins.
Oh, and I nearly forgot, the final cherry on the cake.
All of this phenomenal French intelligence. And it's 20 quid a year to the tax man. 20 quid a year. Wow.